So as you can see, my hair is bright red. Those of you who are following me on Instagram, this should be no surprise to you. If you're not following me on Instagram, then number one, you should be, and number two, surprise! If you're already a subscriber to me or you know me in real life, then you know that my hair was a really dark brown color, almost black in some parts, but I was able to get it this color and I did not have to pre-bleach it or do anything crazy like that. I just used one product and it was able to get my hair from really dark brown to this vibrant bright red color. So I'm going to show you what I did, what I used, how I did it, and explain all of that. So the color that I use is the L'Oreal HiColor HiLights for dark hair only. I used the color Magenta and the color Red. I used 3 boxes of the Magenta and 1 color of the Red. Then I also used a bottle of 30 volume developer, a mixing bowl like this one, and this one's really cool because it has measurements on the inside and then this little brush to apply the color to your hair. And also a pair of rubber gloves to protect your hand. If you don't already know, I do wear hair extensions, so I'm going to show you how I dyed my real hair and then how I dyed my extensions. So my real hair was dyed a really dark brown color. I did have to use the L'Oreal HiColor HiLights twice to lift the really dark color out of my hair to make it bright red. So what I did the first time was I made sure before I even started mixing my color or anything like that I laid down tons of newspaper all over my bathroom and I put on an old t-shirt because I did not want to stain or ruin anything. Then once I protected the area around me, I took some petroleum jelly and I rubbed it along the edges of my face and on my ears, the nape of my neck, etc., so that way my skin didn't stain red either. Then I mixed my color. I took my mixing bowl and I took 1 box of my magenta color, squeezed it in there, and then I mixed a 1:2 ratio with my 30 volume developer. And if the bowl you have measures in milliliters like mine does, I used 70 milliliters of developer. Basically, you want to put twice the amount of developer as you do color. So I mixed that. The consistency was very thick and chunky, so I just kept mixing it till it was smooth and not chunky. And then I just started applying it onto my hair. I sectioned my hair off into 4 sections, 2 in the front and then 2 in the back, just to make it a little bit easier on myself. And I just applied it. I did not put it on my roots at first. I just started where my hair was really dark. You'd be able to see that my roots were all new growth, so it was like a light brown color, and then there was sort of like a line where my color started, and then it was just really dark. So I just focused the color mostly on those parts, applied it all over, and then I put a plastic bag over my head to keep the heat in. I waited with that for about 20 or 25 minutes, and then I went through and I put the color on my roots, and I left that on for only about 5 or 10 minutes. I knew that since my roots were regrowth that I was going to take to the color very quickly, so I didn't want my roots to be like really bright and crazy and then have the rest of my hair be dark. So I did that. I waited, I think in total I had the color on my hair for 30 or 35 minutes. Then I just rinsed it all out. I didn't use shampoo or conditioner or anything. I just washed it out. I made sure that I used very cold water because warm water strips red faster, and I obviously didn't want it to all wash out. So yeah, I just used really cold water. Then you want to make sure after you rinse it out that you use either a red towel or just an old towel that you don't really care about, because your hair will bleed a little bit and you don't want to ruin a towel because you're never going to be able to get that red out. So I just did that. I put some hair oil in it, I let it air dry, went to bed. Next morning I dyed it the second time, I basically did the exact same thing. I used another bottle of the magenta color. This time I didn't put it on my roots at all. I only put it on areas that still were a little bit dark, but I mostly just focused it on the shaft and the ends of my hair. I left that on for, again, 30 or 35 minutes, rinsed it out with cold water once again, and it ended up lightening all of the dark areas, and it was all a really nice, vibrant magenta color. Virgin hair, meaning you've never colored it before, or it is a lighter brown color, you probably could get away with just dyeing it once, but like I said, since mine was colored and it was colored a really dark color, I decided to do it twice, and I needed to do it twice. For my extensions, I decided to buy a new pair of extensions at Sally's. The ones that I already had were a really dark brown, almost black color, and they were already damaged from dyeing them other times, so I decided to just buy a new set. I bought ones that were sort of a light chestnut brown color. I mixed probably like a 2/3 ratio of magenta and then a 1/3 red, because I did notice that my hair, certain parts came out a little bit more pink than I would have liked them, and since the extensions were already a pretty light color, I wanted them to still be more red than pink. But I didn't want them to be like a Ronald McDonald red, so I did still want like some pink undertones. So that's what I did. I did 2/3 magenta, 1/3 red. Mix that together. All together I used about the same amount that would be in one box of color. So once again, I used 70 milliliters of my 30 volume developer. Mix those together. Place my extensions on some aluminum foil, and then I just sort of painted them with the color. I'll stay behind to make it happen for you. Once I was done painting the color on all of them, I just wrapped them up in the foil, again to kind of keep the heat contained, and then I only left that on for about 15 or 20 minutes. Because the hair was a lighter color, I didn't want it to be so bright and not match my real hair at all. So yeah, and then once those were done processing, once again I just rinsed them in really cold water, and that was basically it. It was a pretty easy process. And considering I've never been a redhead before and I've never had my entire head be a really bright, crazy color, I think I did a pretty good job. So if you're wondering, no, my hair is not damaged. My extensions are definitely not damaged at all. They're ridiculously soft. My hair itself was already pretty damaged before I made it red, but I don't know, I mean, it's a little dry, but it's nowhere near as bad as if I would have pre-bleached it. I would say it's about as damaged as it would be after just coloring it like a regular color. Considering I did it twice, I only waited like 12 hours in between colors. It's not really damaged at all. It obviously, as you can see, did lift the color really well, and like I said, my hair was dyed a really dark color, so if you have color in your hair, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think that this definitely will work for you. I mean, if you have like layers and layers and layers of really dark brown, or even if your hair is dyed black, I don't really know how well it would work. I mean, you're probably gonna have to do it several times before you can really lift it to this bright of a color, but that you're gonna have to kind of be the judge for yourself and just, I mean, try it out, I guess, and see if it works. Like I said before, if your hair is virgin hair, you could definitely just get away with using one box and just doing it once. My natural hair is about probably this long maybe, and it is pretty thick, but I was able to only use one box each time I colored it, and I did have quite a bit left over. And then even for my extensions, which these are 18-inch extensions, I was able to just use one box. So if your hair is pretty long or it's just really thick, you might be able to get away with one box, but I would say get 2 just to be on the safe side, and if you don't end up using the second one, you could always return it. But if your hair is short or just really thin, 1 box is plenty. I've done a lot of research on red hair. I know that it's supposed to be like really hard to upkeep. So we'll just see how long I can tolerate this. So far, I love it. I think that it is a really flattering color on me. I don't know. Comment down below and let me know what you think. If you like this color on me or if you prefer the dark hair or whatever. I really like it. I think I'll probably keep it for a while. And in the future, I may do a video showing you how I retouch my hair and how I kind of keep up with the red and all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested in seeing that, also let me know. And of course, if you have any questions or if there's anything that I forgot to mention in this video, leave it down below and I will be sure to answer all of them. So please thumbs up this video if you found it helpful and if you like this color on me, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.